And you got me that way, and I'm wondering if I came on too strong. Walking side by side and backwards down the stairs, all wrong. Can't even
All right, everybody, welcome to the Blue Collar Business Podcast. We're back for another episode. This time we're talking about advertising and what we've done and how it's worked, and we're just going to talk a little bit about that. My name is Garrett Frazee.
My name is Grant Frazee.
We are twin brothers that live outside of Phoenix, Arizona, and we started our own remodeling handyman businesses, and it went great. We did really well. My first year I made $55,000, and I was only working 30 hours a week, so it was like 55 for a part-time job. Well, I guess it was more than part-time, but for not a full-time job, to me was awesome. So I was super happy with it.
That's good.
And it was way easier than I thought it would be when I had the first, my idea of starting it. So anyway, we just want to encourage other people in our field to consider starting something on their own. I think people think it could be intimidating, harder than they expect, but we're here to tell you it's not that bad. We're just some random guys, average blue collar, not super motivated sometimes, but it worked out for us.
I think, as you've said before, if we can do it, you can do it.
Exactly. That's the whole point of this show. So, yeah, we'll get into it. Let's start with our first segment, Grant. What have you been working on lately? How's it going?
So a little bit ago, I finished up a job where I was replacing some Schluter for some tile. It's stuff you put on the corners of tile for 90 degree
the metal
corners.
piece that looks nice.
Yeah, sometimes it's metal. The one I did wasn't metal. I did
what was it?
I used I think it was a vinyl, some kind of plastic.
Was it a shower?
Yeah, it was for a shower, and it was actually an entire bathroom. They did kind of 4 feet up, kind of covered the whole bathroom.
Oh, so you had to do it for the whole bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know what you call that. It's like a really tall tile baseboard. That's like
I like that.
4 feet around.
Tile baseboard.
Yeah, so I had to do the top corner of that. Anyway, whoever installed the tile just forgot to do the Schluter.
In your opinion, did they do a good job generally besides that?
Not really.
Oh, it's a shame.
I haven't done much tile, and I'm not good at it, but I don't think they did great work.
I'm always judging my predecessors when I'm working on somebody's house. I'm like, what did they do?
Well, it's like, if I have to go in there and fix it, you didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, I did that, and I used vinyl because I had to cut up the Schluter, because usually it's supposed to be installed with the tile, and it goes behind the tile. So,
oh gosh,
since it's already installed, I couldn't do that. So I had to chop it up and glue it in. It was a mess.
Did you have to use an angle grinder to cut up the tile?
I didn't really have to cut any of the tile, but I had to use an angle grinder to cut out the grout from the tile.
Yikes.
From all the corners. And it got really dusty and disgusting.
Nice. How long were you chopping up grout with an angle grinder before you decided that you needed to put a mask on to breathe better?
It was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. I usually just think that I can bear it for a while, and then once I'm just absolutely dying and I can't breathe, I'm like, yeah, I should put a mask on.
It was I don't know, maybe 50 square foot bathroom, and I close the door and there's no airflow. There's just dust everywhere. Okay.
That was the equivalent of you smoking a pack of cigarettes for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Those couple days.
It's not good for your lungs. And once I'm spitting up or just coughing up a gray kind of substance, I'm like, okay.
I have never gotten there. That's pretty extreme.
It's it was a light gray, so it wasn't too bad yet.
Oh, wow.
But I had to go to my truck and get a respirator. So
very good.
Eventually I started doing it right.
Yeah, I just did something and I had to rip up a bunch of tile, and I surrounded the area with plastic so that it wouldn't spread everywhere. And I was just doing it by hand, but I did the whole thing without a mask. And the whole time I'm like, I probably should put a mask on. I can't breathe. I probably should put a mask on. I was just thinking that the whole time. Yeah. And I'm like, I got to get up and then go to my car, which is
that's the thing.
It's 10 steps away.
You got to walk, 50, 60 feet.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's remarkable how hard it seems sometimes.
Yeah.
Probably for the best that I would have put one on, but I didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, so it went okay actually, and ended up looking really nice because I finished up the job and made it look like tile's supposed to look. So it was good.
How long? Or let me ask you this: what did you quote him for? How long did it take? How much did you get paid?
Yeah, I was way off. Well, I mean, this is like a really specific job. I'd done it like one time in like a really small section of tile.
I see.
So it was like I didn't know how to bid
Kinda hard
this,
to quote,
and I
yeah.
way underbidded it. It was like maybe twice or maybe 3 times as much work as I put in for my bid.
Oh my gosh, that's really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Did you end up charging him more than what you bid?
No, I didn't really.
Oh man, you got screwed.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
So how much did you make an hour? Did you calculate it?
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around like 15.
Oh no!
It was bad, dude.
That's below minimum wage here.
Yeah.
I think it's 17 here. I don't know.
Is it? Yeah. Well, it
could be
felt
totally wrong
it felt
about
bad. It felt like it wasn't enough. So
I'm gonna look it up right now just to see how bad you did.
yeah.
Minimum wage.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna do any more tile work.
That could make sense. Oh, it's $14.35.
Okay. Hey, I made above minimum wage.
Yeah.
It was
Wow,
between 15 and 16. So
Nice job.
yeah.
Well, I had a similar story, but I got paid way more than that, so I'm very grateful.
Good for you.
This is making me feeling really good about it, actually, which I was not feeling great about it before. I had to work for these people, and they had me replace all the like weather stripping in their doors because they didn't want scorpions in their house.
Good
I
idea.
thought that would help. And they also wanted me to expand this doorway to their kitchen. It was like an old door frame, and there was a door on it years ago, but they took the door off, and so it was just a door frame with no door to enter their kitchen, and it looked really bad, and they wanted to expand it and get rid of the old door frame. So I looked at that door, and I said I could do that in one day. And that's what I quoted them for. And it took me 3 days. So that's kind of on me. But they did add a few things. Like I ended up having to replace the tile around the door frame because when I ripped up the door frame, there was going to be some exposed concrete.
Yeah.
I had to redo the tile.
But is that like stuff you just weren't thinking about when
I
you
was not thinking about that.
made your bid?
But they also, it saved me a little bit because there was like 4 other tiles that had cracked near it before that had been cracked for years. So I was like,
okay.
I'll tack those on to my bid too. So that kind of saved me.
Nice.
If that makes sense. I was able to add
No,
a
I
little bit
get
more.
it. Yeah, you kind of like add it. It makes sense to add it to your bill because they were already cracked, and you decide you're gonna help them out.
Yep. So anyway, it took me, like I said, 3 days. I think I calculated it was like 20. No, it was 18 hours. I think of work total, or somewhere between 18 and 20. I couldn't be wrong about that. I don't actually remember. But anyway, I after like day 2, you ever experienced this where you're like 6 hours over what you thought you were going to be doing, and you're just kind of angry?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where
No,
I
I
was.
felt that. It's just like I'm kind of upset at someone. I don't want to be like mad at someone, but I can only be mad at myself.
Yeah, you're like kind of mad at the client because like, oh, I didn't know, but I'm like, why am I mad at them? This is my fault.
I'm kind of mad at them because you're at their house and you can't leave.
Yeah.
You've been there too long.
Yeah, I was there till 9:30 on Friday night. I felt kind of bad. I was like,
that's a horrible Friday night.
yeah. Anyway, but at the end of the day, I bid them for like $880 or something originally to do all that. And when I finished, I was like, well, I'm just gonna, I'll give them what I quoted them, or so I'll charge them what I quoted them. So I said it was gonna be $880, and they paid me $1,000. They gave me a huge tip. So
nice
I was happy that I didn't get a little annoyed at them for no reason when I was feeling a little frustrated about how long it took, because they paid.
That's good. That's good of you.
Yeah, so anyway, again, I forget how many hours I was there, but I calculated it after I was done, and I made like $55 an hour. So,
Wow. Ooh, I
A
wish I
little
could
bit.
make that kind of money.
only a little bit better than what you did.
Yeah.
But, you know, you live and learn. I've also had $15 an hour jobs myself, so it happens. It happens to
Yeah.
all of us. All right. Yeah, we're going to be talking about advertising. Me and Grant, unfortunately, didn't really prepare for this episode as well as we usually do. We usually have an outline that'll
Yeah.
work out, but we didn't do that. So we're just going to kind of talk about advertising and generally just our experience with it. I think that would be helpful just to hear how, like, what's worked for us and what hasn't worked. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've done much advertising. I've done a fair amount.
I've never really like made anything and like put it out there for new clients. I don't know. I feel like the
Okay.
only advertising I've done is just like, I don't know, word of mouth, I guess, and people have heard of me. So it's not really something I've put out there.
Yeah, that's kind of worth mentioning, though. It's like almost the way you work for people is advertising in a way. Because if you're going to do a good job, then people are going to bring you up if somebody asks for
Yeah.
a handyman, you know?
I mean, one of the larger jobs I just finished up, it was like they saw the work at a neighbor's house and they're like, I like this work. I want to hire
that's
the
great.
person who did this. I mean, that's kind of advertising. So that's about all I've done though.
That's great.
Yeah. So that's kind of the only advertising I've done is like not much of anything. I haven't really put anything out there. But I do know that you have like you've made like business cards or flyers or something. I've never even made business cards. So I was
really?
kind of curious as to what kind of costs are involved for that. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't know, it's something to consider even for a small business, you know. Any kind of, you know, costs need to be thought about.
Yeah. I pretty much the most advertising I've done probably just buying business cards that I designed and putting them on people's like front doors.
Okay.
I've tried a little bit of online stuff and I didn't like it at all. Though I think it would work well if I actually tried it in a different way. But
Like
anyway.
where at?
I tried through Yelp.
Oh,
Just
okay.
an absolute nightmare. I hate Yelp.
Really?
I despise them.
I guess I haven't really spent much time on Yelp, so
Oh,
I've
gosh.
never seen any early ads there.
Yeah, I tried to do like start up a page and get reviews and a business and well, they get you on this. If you start like a business page through Yelp, they'll offer you like free advertising credit. I'm like, oh, I could start it for free doing some advertising, see how it goes.
Yeah.
But
That's how they get you.
it's all bogus. Like I don't think any of their leads are real, and they give you these fake leads, and then they start charging you way above what their like free credit was. So I ended up paying them like $300, and I got nothing out of it.
Oh, that
I was
sucks.
so furious.
Okay.
Yeah, so Yelp is awful. Don't ever go to them. They're of the devil. So
Wow, that's
just letting people know about
that's
that.
good to know. I
Yeah, it's really.
didn't know that about Yelp.
I've heard good things about Google. I did want to try like Google sponsored advertisements. I don't know how much those would cost, but I was interested in maybe doing that, or like Facebook, but I never ended up doing that. But anyway, back to like business cards.
Yeah, business cards. Like, how much does it cost to print out, you know, however many business cards you made?
When I've done it, I usually do like 250 at a time.
Yeah.
And that was like $40, I think, at Staples.
Oh, okay. It's not bad.
Super affordable. And honestly, the most expensive thing about like business card advertising is just the time it takes to like design it and then go out and put it on doorsteps.
Yeah.
Because that was probably the worst part. Like it took a long time. I just drove.
Distributing them?
Yeah, distributing them.
Did you, there's like this company that comes around my neighborhood and they put them in plastic baggies with rocks and they just throw them on people's driveway. Do you do that?
No, I didn't do that. I think that's
It's just
classic.
full of gravel.
I don't think that works. I mean,
it
maybe
doesn't work on
does.
us, so.
Maybe it does for some people, but it just looks like trash. So I never wanted to do
It's
that.
literally still on our driveway getting run over.
Yes.
It is trash.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So I never did that. I would just go up to the doorstep, kind of stick it in the door, or put it like under the
Okay.
mat, like a little bit sticking out, something like that. And I actually got some success from that. I'd say the first time I did it, I did maybe 150, 200 houses,
Wow. How long did that take?
like all day.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it myself the first time. Later on, I did like 2 rounds of business cards, or maybe 3. The first time I did it all myself, and I just drove around in my car, and I would park, and then I would just run and go to different houses, and I'd run across the street. It took forever.
Yeah.
But I got maybe like 4 or 5 calls from that actually ended up being a job.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, that was something. And that was people that had never heard of me ever before. So it was like fresh new contacts.
Yeah,
people
no, that's
who could
great.
refer me. So it was, even though it doesn't sound like a lot, it ended up being a lot because, you know, I have gotten some work through them. Like there was one guy, I put a business card on his door. He called me to do some electrical work, like fix his fan in his house and stuff like that. Like it didn't take very long. But then he referred me to his friend who lived in Apache Junction, and then I went to his house, and I ended up doing like 2 days worth of work at his house. And like I would have never gotten either of those clients had I not put that business card.
Yeah,
on
just
my
from
door.
that one card. That's cool.
Yeah, so even though it doesn't convert into like a lot of new clients, it was still something. So I think it was worth my time. Yeah, second time I did it, I hired my nieces and nephews. Well, your nieces and nephews too.
Yeah.
And I think I had 4 of them with me. I just took them in the car and just gave them business cards and sent them out. They just ran all around the neighborhood. I think everybody was confused what was happening.
It was
And
just like a bunch of kids running in every direction.
yeah, well, Colt, the youngest one, was doing it. He was trying to. Sometimes he would just throw the business cards like at their door, and it was like a windy day, so they would just blow away. I was like, dude, you gotta like put them in the door under the mat. He was just like throwing them at people, like 2 or 3 at a
You're not
time.
making me any
He was like
any money,
wasting on
buddy.
it. It was so funny. It's like that's not how we're doing it. But yeah,
That's a good way to do it. Though. Get some child labor in there.
Yeah, all I paid him was like I took him to QT and get him like
That's perfect. Get some Slurpees.
Slurpees and some I don't know donuts or something. I gave him like a $5 or $10 budget. They loved it.
That's great.
They wanted to work for me again after that. I was like, yeah. So anyway, I highly recommend that. Again, like I said, not a ton of people.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like in this business, the majority of our work comes through word of mouth and people referring us. So even if you get like, you do 100 business cards and get 3 people calling you, you never know what those 3 people could turn into in like a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like from my original question, it sounds like the costs are really low. I mean, just $40
Super low, yeah.
and like, you know, a bit of your time
Yeah.
and, you know, QT costs for 4 kids.
No, true. That was like another $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a very cheap way to do some advertisement that I actually found a decent amount of success with. Oh, another one. Sorry, I keep rambling here. I'll give you some time to talk to, but this is also
No,
interesting.
I haven't done any of this, so I want to hear you talk.
You've noticed I put like some magnets on my car.
Oh, yeah. You have a great logo.
Thank you. My wife designed it. It's very good.
It's very cool.
Yeah, so I have my phone number and the name of my business on my car. And my car is, I think my car itself helps too because it's bright red.
No,
it looks ridiculous.
Didn't you tell me that you like got a client from some guy seeing
Yeah.
your car and is like,
Yeah.
all right, this is clearly some handyman.
This is like,
I want to hire this guy.
this is my favorite story when it comes to advertising. So I actually didn't have my number or the magnets on my car yet. I just had my car.
Okay.
And I was working at somebody's house.
Well, in your car, you have like this gigantic wooden like rack on top of it, the whole drywall. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's to hold 4 feet pieces
Yeah,
for
4
like
by 8
drywall or
planks of
like
drywall, so I
plywood or
made it.
something.
Yeah, and I made
So
it
it's-
specifically for drywall sheets.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, well, the car itself is tiny.
Yeah, it's a
But, like,
tiny
the rack,
car.
The
with
rack
this
is huge. It looks
giant
ridiculous.
rack on top. Yeah.
So anyway, it really catches your eye. And so
Yeah.
I was just working at this guy's house all day, and a neighbor across the street, I walked out to grab something out of my car, and he like flagged me down. He's like, "Hey, I saw your car. You must do drywall. I'm like, yeah, I do. And he's like, can you come check out some stuff in my house? I want to see if you can fix it. And so I was just like, right. I'm like, yeah, I got 5 minutes. I'll just go and walk through your house and take some pictures, and then I'll send you an estimate later.
Wait, where were you?
I was at another client's house working.
It was just a neighbor.
So this was a neighbor
Okay.
who saw my car. Anyway, he worked from home. He was just looking at my car all day. He's like, I'm going to ask him next time I see him.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I went into his house for like 5 minutes to look at some of the drywall stuff he wanted me to do, and it was super doable. So then I left, and then I gave him a bid later that day, and I did some work for him the next week, and it went great. He loved it. He was like super impressed with my work. And then I didn't hear from him for a while. And then like 3 months later, he ended up buying a house and moving, and he had me do his whole house. Like I remodeled the whole house. I think this is the one I showed you. It was like an old Mormon seminary.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
Weird, yeah.
It's really nice.
But that, I worked so much for that guy. I mean, like tons of work, tons of money. Like it was great. And like I got that client just from him looking at
Just
my car.
from your car.
So
Wow.
You think of creative ways to make your business stand out, I guess.
That's one way to do it. Yeah.
People look at my car and they think, well, he must do something. He must be creative.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
it's clearly custom work to your car.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. He's not the only one. Like that was the most successful one because I ended up doing tons of work for him. But there's probably been 5-10 other people who I've gotten work just from my car. So,
have you asked them because you also have that sticker, or now you have a sticker on your car. I assume it has your phone number.
I've never gotten a call from somebody looking at that phone number on my car.
Do you have any way of knowing if they?
Yeah, I would. If I just got a call out of the blue,
Do you ask
I'd be
them?
like, how'd you get my number?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I've never gotten a call from that. But I have gotten like I said, 5 or 10 people who have seen my car and seen that I have the sticker on there.
Yeah.
And just physically saw me next to it and asked me if I could do some work for them. Like it just happened to me 3 times at Home Depot.
Oh, while you're at Home Depot.
Yeah. Someone will be like, there was one time I was just stopping at Home Depot and this guy parked right next to me and he looked at my sticker and he's like, I gotta do this thing to my garage cabinets and I don't want to do it. You want to do it for me today? And I was like, sure. I don't know what I was doing that day, but I didn't have a job. I was just at Home Depot.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'll do it right now. So I worked for him
That's awesome.
right there. And he lived down the street, so it was convenient.
How much did that cost? It's like a magnet, right?
Oh, that was, I think, $100 for both of the magnets.
Okay.
So again, not that expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. So I guess some advice for people who are freshly starting out.
Oh, I did want to know how much did you pay the graphic designer for your design? I'm sure he said your wife did.
Oh, yeah. I was like, hold on. Yeah. Didn't have to pay her anything.
It does look really cool though.
Yeah, I'm really happy with what she did. So, but I don't think it would be that expensive to pay somebody to design a graphic for you. I don't know. I've never done that.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I was thinking about having somebody do that for our podcast, but then I was like, I could just have my wife do it again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was just some advice for people starting out is like I said, you're gonna have to get a lot of clients just out of the gate to be able to do this. And I think just try a bunch of different things. I was in a season where I needed more clients. I wasn't getting a lot of calls, so that's why I started doing the cards.
Yeah.
And that paid off. I just tried it. I don't know if it was gonna work, but I tried it and it worked out. And then I also did the stickers on my car at the same time. And I ended up getting a lot of work, and it was like a slow season, but then I got a lot of work coming in because of that. So, just try things. You never know what's gonna lead to something you're not expecting.
Yeah, that's cool. And it worked, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. You had written down some questions. Is there anything else? Oh, wait. I want to ask you, if you've had any stories or experience with, I know you haven't done a lot of advertising, but, like, have you ever gotten any clients that you didn't expect for like referrals or something? I know you mentioned that you had done some work for a neighbor, and then the neighbor saw your work and called you up for the Schluter that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Anything else like that?
Yeah, I feel like just when I used to flip houses, I had some neighbors who would, come and ask. But that was they were just curious neighbors, and they saw clearly work was being done at the house.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean that's all I can really think of is just, I guess, just neighbors have worked out for me so far.
Yeah, me too.
Curious neighbors are good for business.
Yeah. Oh, something else that worked? I put business cards around my whole neighborhood I was living in, and people had seen my car in the neighborhood just because I lived there, and I ended up getting a lot of work just in the neighborhood because people were like familiar with me in a way. So it was like it kind of helped. Like my ratio of business cards to actual calls was way higher in my neighborhood than it was anywhere else.
Oh, and the commute's really nice.
Yeah, it was super nice. Yeah, when I got those calls, I'm like, oh, I could walk there. So yeah, I think that helps too. Like, do that because people already feel a little more familiar with you because they see you like in the neighborhood. So yeah, that worked out for me well. All right, we're like 27 minutes in, so I think there's a lot more we could talk about with advertising. And I think we'll probably do another episode at some point.
Okay.
With a little more structure. But I've enjoyed this. It's been good.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up with a couple final questions for our last segment. You had a final question before we do our final question.
Okay. Yeah. I was curious what, if anything comes to mind, like what is one of your favorite ads you've seen? Since we're talking about advertising.
Yeah. I really gotta think. Do you have anything in mind?
I have a couple that I thought of. Yeah.
All right, tell me.
So I saw some like video about this really good ad that played. I think it was in Germany, and it was I think it was for Volkswagen. It was like this really cool. What do you call those things where it's like, I don't know, maybe a marble or something, and like it just goes in I'm thinking of Lou Gehrig's, but it's like a Rube Goldberg. Not Lou Gehrig's a disease, but Rube Goldberg machine.
Yeah.
There's like a bunch of different things interact, and like it all goes like linearly. Anyway, there's this really cool ad where it's like every single piece of this car is like part of this Lou Gehrig's machine, Rube Goldberg machine.
And that was like the machine itself was the advertisement?
It was for the car, yeah. So like the end of it just showed the car, and it was like the machine was like every part of the car.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like just a really well shot, cool idea. It's really nice. It's a great commercial.
Love that. All right, I got another question before we end the podcast. Tell me something that has been embarrassing that you've done or has happened on the job. If you need a time to think, I can tell you something.
So one thing comes to mind. It's one of the like craziest things I've seen on the job site. It's not something I did, but it was just embarrassing to be present.
Oh, okay.
I forget what this guy did. I think he was maybe electrical or a plumber or something. I can't remember what he did, but it was when I was flipping houses.
Okay.
And he was coming to do some work at the house. And at the time, we had like just done all the demo work, and we were like just starting on this project. And that week we had no toilets in the house. So this guy had to go.
Oh no.
And we also had no locks on any of the doors. It was just, I don't know, we refined our process later on where none of this would have happened. Yeah. So I feel bad for this guy because he came into a house that just didn't function. Anyway, he had to go, and he closed one of the bathroom doors that had no toilet,
No, he pooped into the hole?
No. What he did was he pooped in a Home Depot bucket
No.
that he filled with pool water beforehand. He took a dump in that and then poured it down the toilet drain. And why I was embarrassed about it is I walked in right when he finished and was pouring it out. And I can't express to you how bad that room smelled.
Oh my god.
So disgusting.
Did you make eye contact with him?
Yeah, I mean, it was just bad timing. I was walking in there to like replace a light or something, and I didn't know he was in there.
That is insane.
Yeah, it was.
I can't believe that happened. I can't believe you never told me this before. That's amazing.
It was so gross. But also, I mean, props to that guy for just getting it done. He had to go.
Yeah, seriously.
He found a way.
He found a way. He didn't just go to a gas station or something. He's like, I'm going to do it right here.
He had to go right then and there, and he found a way to do it.
Jeez. Props to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but do you have anything that disgusting?
I actually have something that's similar in a way.
Okay.
There was one time, this was about me, so this is firsthand embarrassment.
Yeah.
But I was working at these people's house, and they were prepping it to be rented. So it was totally, like, there was nothing in it.
Yep.
But the toilets were still in, so it wasn't, I didn't poop into a hole.
That's good.
But
That's good.
the toilets were in, the water was working, but I went to poop in the like master bedroom toilet, and after I was done, I realized there's no toilet paper in here.
Oh, no.
And the people I was working for, they were doing some work at the house too, because they're also helping me get it ready to rent. So they were there, but I was like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm working for these people. I want to maintain credibility. I'm not gonna like yell out from the bathroom like, excuse me, can you give me toilet paper? So I'm like, that's not an option. So what do I do here?
No grown adult wants to be in that situation where you're yelling out for toilet paper.
Yeah, that was not about to do that. So I was just trying to weigh out my options. I was looking around. Okay, there's no toilet paper. I mean, I looked everywhere. I'm like, maybe there's toilet paper behind the toilet. Maybe it's in the tank. I looked everywhere. And I found nothing. So I was like, I'm going to have to use my sock.
Oh, a sock?
So I used both of my socks.
Oh, both of them?
Yeah, I was going to use one, and then I ended up needing two.
Oh.
And so, yeah, I just wadded them up and then threw them in the trash afterwards.
Did you, like, get, both sides of each sock? Did you turn it inside out? Get,
Well, the inside part is a little rougher, so I couldn't use that.
Okay.
That would have been uncomfortable.
That's gross.
Yeah. Not proud of that, but I don't know what else I could have done in that situation.
Yeah. Do you feel a kinship with this guy that I saw who just got it done, when he
Yeah, I do, I guess.
he took use of all the surroundings to get it done.
Yeah, that was, he's a little more bold than me.
I think so.
I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah.
All right, well, this was a good episode. I think we'll wrap it up here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
And you got me that way, and I'm wondering if I can